Thank you, Lord Mayor. Not to rain on your parade or John's parade, I think whenever both you and John spoke about this, we were in different times. Belfast world has changed since the 3rd of December 2012, and I think we need to realise that. I also think that, we don't even have conciliation in this city, never mind reconciliation, and I think that all of us as Admiral, and I agree, we do need to go for that. But just to tell you a story, the last 6 nights in the area that I represent have had sectarian attacks on their homes. Protestants who are in their 70s living in bungalows have been attacked by Catholics. Now, the reality here is, yes, we should be aiming to bring walls down in this society, but you know what? We also need to be working for those people who are vulnerable living in these places, because interfaces just doesn't bring political violence to their doors. It also means that they have higher levels of insurance. It also means that they have less chance of actually being able to get a job, high levels of educational underachievement, all of those things that bring disadvantage. But when I come to council and I'm reading the minutes and I get a phone call to tell me that houses have been attacked for the 6th night in a row, I ask a question: what are we doing about it? Now, so it's great to bring walls down, but you know what? I'm old enough to remember living in the Shankill and going to Cooper Street. And when I crossed Cooper Street, I was in a different place. Because I came from a Protestant community and a Catholic one. In the 60s, I knew that. I didn't need a wall or a fence to tell me it. It was in my head. I automatically knew. Now, we need to get the mindsets changed in this society. We need to get rid of sectarianism. And we also need to be dealing with it. But the way we deal with that is with human beings, not with walls. The walls are what separate us. But unless we remove the separations in our mind, we're never going to solve the problems. So what I'm saying to you is, I have no problem with something like this, but we need to be realistic, and we need to deal with people who are suffering attacks. Because, if it was any of our mothers or fathers who were pensioners living in those houses, we would want to do something about it. Those people are that vulnerable, they don't have anybody talking for them. So I just think that we need to take that into consideration. This council needs to be doing whatever they need to do to bring the walls down. But remember, we need to consult with people, and we need to understand the problems that those people face. So I'm just asking people to be taken into consideration when we talk about bringing walls down, about who are we bringing them down for. And I accept that we need to bring business and we need to bring investment, but the reality is there's not much point in doing that if people are going to still war. And that's what we have. And I'll just remind you, we have attacks every day in this community. There's attacks, armed attacks coming from Republicans against people. So let's be very clear. We're not in the same place we were in 94 or 2005. We're in a totally different place. We have still got people who are carrying out armed attacks, and we still have high levels of sectarianism. So we need to deal with those things before we start bringing the walls down.
Thank you, Councillor Hutchinson.
Sectarian attacks from any source directed against anyone, any community, any family are absolutely wrong. No question about it. I'm a Republican, and it's because I'm a Republican that I'm opposed to sectarianism. I grew up, was reared in Clonard, a few yards from Bombay Street, and all that happened there in 1969. And as a Republican in that area, we have stood many nights over the past number of years doing our best to stop, in many cases, young people on our side of the peace line, our side of the peace wall, attacking people's homes on the other side of the wall. Right? We have stood against thuggery. We have stood up to people, and I've had many nights, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, along with other people here, arguing with young people on our side, standing up to them, confronting them, giving leadership, taking abuse from them, being spat at, being called all sorts of names, because we believe that sectarianism is wrong, no matter where it comes from, no matter what source, but it comes across the wall from both sides. Right? And if Billy was sincere, he wouldn't have spent the past year waking people up, encouraging people's fears, stoking them up. 2 weeks before the decision last year, your position was that you were in favour of designated days. Because it was politically advantageous to us, you stood not against the mob.
Point of information.
No, you stood not against the mob, Billy, but with the mob. And you've stoked up fears, and you've stoked up sectarian division in this city. Oh, so don't be lecturing us. We've stood there. I tell you what we'll do, and I tell you a promise that we'll make and I'll make. I'll go with you to the people who have been attacked on the Shankill roadside and visit their homes. If you come with me the same day and visit the homes on our side that you know have been attacked by friends of yours over the past number because they've been wound up, we have forums over the past number of months, and these words,
Councillor Hutchinson, address your comments to the Chair and wait when you're
these fine words that you speak. There are forums where Republicans and Loyalists are supposed to be engaging in dialogue, and you have withdrawn from that dialogue. You have refused to engage in that dialogue because you're looking over your shoulder at the bigots who have been whipping up fear. So listen, if you're going to oppose sectarianism, oppose it across the city. Oppose it in East Belfast, oppose it in West Belfast, oppose it if it's an attack upon a Catholic home, a Protestant home, or a Polish home, or a black home. Be consistent and stand up against bigotry, Billy. Don't be a hypocrite.